Hi, I'm Paul Jackson, Head of Highways and Environmental Services for Denbighshire County Council. We have had significant problems since June with missed collections for all waste types, but in the time since June to now, we've been working hard to use the information and data that we've been getting through from the teams to revise the rounds, look at better ways of operating and try and get a more consistent service to residents that they deserve and we know that we want to deliver. As part of that, we've been putting in extra resources and we've revised the routes to better suit residents based on the information we've been getting in. As part of those revisions and amendments to the service, we've brought in extra resources and we've brought in extra vehicles to make sure that there's a long-term sustainability in getting the rounds completed as they need to be done. It is fair to say we've had significant problems since June, and there have been a proportion of residents who've been affected by that, and for that I am deeply sorry. It's not acceptable, and we've been working hard to get that right. But it's also true to say that a large percentage of the population in Denbighshire have had a regular service and have seen no interruption and have been quite happy with that service. That's not to say that there aren't still improvements to be made, but I want to make a personal apology for those people who've been detrimentally affected by lack of regular service. As of the 4th of November, we brought in some revised routes, the aim being to better service residents with the waste collections. Not all routes have changed, and we've tried where possible to keep the collection days the same, and for the vast majority of residents this has remained the case. The timing of that collection may have changed, so residents may have seen it later in the day historically, where that is now earlier. We've put processes in place to deal with the missed collections, and I'm happy to say that the issues with repeated missed collections are now drastically reduced. It's also important to note that historically there's always been missed collections. Under the old regime there were missed collections, and residents should continue to report missed collections through the council website or through the contact centre using our website link or the telephone number we've got provided for the contact centre direct. 99% of collections are being made on the right day at the right time. We've now stopped Saturday working. We don't need to do any mop-up service on a Saturday. But for the 1% of residents that may have a missed collection, we're dealing with them in the appropriate manner, picking them up when they're reported to the contact centre or via the website, and then they get put through via the back office team and dealt with on the next round. There have been some properties that have had a very poor service from day one in June, and it's those residents that I owe the deepest apology to. It's not acceptable, and it's been the main focus of our team to try and get that sorted from June to now. There are numerous issues for that. We've had some IT issues and we've had some operational issues that we've had to work through, but I'm entirely confident that we've got to a resolution with those now, and those residents should be seeing a regular service of all the waste streams being collected. There have been some additional costs incurred in recent months. We've put an extra 1.2 million into the service to ensure that the service is running as smoothly as it needs to, in line with the resources that are required. This has been covered by a payback from a separate project that's been ongoing for some time. We've also invested a further 1 million each year into the service to keep it running, but it is important to note that the service was overspending on the old model. It was part of the reason why we moved to the new system. And moving forward, we can now sell direct to market the recycling that we take in to recoup that cost. The implementation of the new service actually protects us from additional budget pressures moving forward. We're now able to sell directly to market the recycling that we take in, and since the start of the service, in the first 3 months we took in 1,700 tonnes of products, which we were able to then sell back to the market for approximately £250,000. Instead of having to pay now to separately segregate the recycling as it comes in, we can do it at curbside and then process it in the depot. And we expect to generate approximately £1 million per year in doing that from selling the recycling direct to market. Part of the rationale for the new service was to meet the Welsh Government's new 70% requirements for recycling. It's a little bit early in the reporting systems to be able to tell where we're at with that, but we're entirely confident that if we can get the contamination situation right with residents, we should meet that 70% target. There'll be a full and comprehensive lessons learned from this project. It's also going to full scrutiny committee. We'll be taking the lessons learned from this and applying those to future projects of this size and this complexity. It has been difficult on the crews, I accept that totally, and I'm proud of the team that work here for the work that they put in and the hard work they put in. Each of the crews is committed to getting their rounds completed every day, and they've been going over and above and beyond in recent months to do that. Bringing in the new rounds has made their lives a little bit easier. Contamination of recycling is a key issue here, and this is where we need residents to really help us out. It's really important to note that just one contaminated box, if that's accepted into a load, then that will contaminate the whole load and make it so we can't sell it to market. We'll be doing some focused education with residents where we need to. Persistent issues will be dealt with by enforcement, but that really is a last resort. But it's really important we get the quality of the recycling right, because it helps us massively with the budget pressures. I have mentioned enforcement, but I want to make it absolutely clear that that's not the focus of our efforts. We want to work with residents and educate them as to how best to avoid contamination. And we've produced quite a number of information leaflets. We've got stuff on our social media outlets and on our website to try and help and assist residents in understanding how and what they can and can't recycle. I want to say a personal thank you to residents who are making the efforts with the recycling. The vast majority of you are getting it right, and that's been proven through the quality of the recycling we're already getting in. We will be putting out more information where possible, and I just want to assure everyone that moving forward you should be seeing a consistent and reliable waste service as you always have.